Well, hello again everybody, welcome back to the channel. I've got my coffee and it's about 9:15 on a Friday morning and we've had pretty bad weather again all week, but it's about the best day we've had so far this week. I thought now it might be a nice time to have a little bit of a walk around the garden and have a bit of an update and see what's going on. So yeah, I'll get behind the camera and let's go see what's happening. This is the rockery that I only created a couple of months ago, but it's aged in very nicely, very quickly. Doesn't look like it's been here only a couple of months already. Things like the Albrecia are doing great guns. The only thing I'm really having a problem with up here is the Saxifraxia, which is just about holding on but hasn't taken very well. That's these two here. It's not taken very nicely. Got a lovely dianthus up here, nice deep pinky mauve, but that's all coming in very nicely. I've got a lot of semperviviums around the garden, but I think it's because we've had a fairly hot spring. Most of them seem to be going to flower, which are quite nice flowers, but it kills off the bottom of the sempervivium, which isn't perfectly ideal, but that's looking nice. I've got my foreman as ever watching me, making sure I'm doing a good job. Yeah, apple trees, fruit. Apples are coming on very nicely. We've got a very good yield of apples this year. Well, most of our fruit this year, that's all coming. It's about the best year we've had for that. We've only had these, I think 5 years we've had the apple and the pear tree. This is probably one of the best yields we've had. They're only going to get better year by year, aren't they? There's the pears doing nicely. Our cherry tree has some sort of black fly blight. Somebody told us what it was a couple of weeks ago and how to treat it, which we're going to start doing. We've only had this, is only the second year we've had the cherry tree in here. We have had a few off it, and we have got a couple of cherries on there, but I don't know. Hopefully it'll be better once we treat it. I mean, it's not ideal to eat them at the moment. I can't see any more. There's 2 or 3 on there, but hopefully we can fix that up, and that'll be a bit better next year. Yeah, back to the rockery and the cat following me around now. And let's just carry on down here. We're into the nice time of year, around the summer when things start to look nice, but because of COVID this year we haven't been able to get most of the stuff. Well, garden centres have been closed and we've all been on lockdown, so, and that's the other bit of the rockery that's grown in nicely. It's all coming together. Need to get up there and do a bit of weeding and pruning. But yeah, and let's come around to the nature pond. Let's go have a bit of a closer look at this. Now, I've already tried filming this once today, but the sound didn't want to work for some reason, so I don't know how well this is going to come out, but attached to this bit of algae, or I think it's blanket weed, which normally I'd take out and sort out, I think you might just be able to see if the reflections aren't too bad. Around here, this looks to me like fish eggs. There's a big clump of them here, but there's a lot of reflection on it. Looks to me like there might be some spawn in there. I don't think it's frog spawn. It's a little bit late in the year, and the way the fish are behaving, it looks very much like that could be fish spawn. So we may have some baby pumpkins quite soon. Don't know if you can see that. It's down here on this bit of blanket weed, so have to keep checking back in and see if we see some baby fish fairly soon. The other issue I'm having with the nature pond, which I'm not so looking forward to doing, don't know how well you'll see it, be okay, is this full water feature, whatever you want to call it, cascade, has shifted away from everything else, which is creating a problem because it's actually shifted downwards slightly into the water. So if I fill it up to the maximum water level, that bottom lip comes underwater. I know why it's done it. Our whole garden is built, unfortunately, as you probably saw in my how to build your pond video, my whole garden is built on very bad clay, and it subsides and moves all over. I can give you a good visual example of this. So this is our patio in front of our conservatory. In the summer, you can see this block here is sitting at least an inch below that back bit. If I came and I'll try and do it. If I do the same thing in the middle of winter, this block here will be sat above that block. It will be sat above those blocks at the back there. So our ground moves over an inch up and down throughout the year, which makes having ponds and things like that a bit of a nightmare, because everything moves around and nothing stays solid. So at some point, and I'm going to try and put it off for as long as possible, I'm sure, I'm going to have to take most of the water out of this pond, dismantle all of this side, resit that more securely, and rebuild all of that. So that'll be a fun job to do at some point. Been a while since we had a check-in on the turtles. They're both doing okay, looking nice in their tank and happy. I haven't given much information about these guys or shown them much on the channel. So they're stink pot turtles, or musk turtles they're called. They're about 9 or 10 years old, these two. I think they're a pair of males, which is a little bit of a shame. We won't be able to breed them. But they live for about 75 years, so they're probably going to outlive me. But they're a lovely couple of characters. They're a right little pair. Could sit for hours just watching them. Very friendly. I feed them at night, and there's not a lot else to say really, but they've been doing okay. They enjoy living in here. Don't have to clean this out much. This tank just runs quite happily. It doesn't take much, but it's a 120 litre dual 120 litre dual tank, but as you can see, it doesn't have anywhere near 120 litres of water in there. The turtles like to destroy everything. They really are fussy things. They'll rip everything apart, which is why it's fairly empty, and they'll move it around how they want it. I always end up having to turn the air off in there because they just do not tolerate the air being on, and we had to rip out the original filter box and everything because it's quite an old tank anyway. But this runs from an external, again, an external OZ filter and heater, which runs quite nicely and keeps going. We really don't have to clean this that much. So, yeah, bit of a turtle update. Let's go back out to the garden. It was obviously too much effort for this one supervising me. She should have her well-earned morning rest, I think. So we're back outside, and we're over by the koi pond now. The fish are looking quite happy. I should probably put my CPL lens on, you'd see them in the water nicer. They're quite happy, they've had a good week, not many problems. I think I'm probably going to give them a bit of a clean this weekend, get the water a bit clearer and nicer for them, get the net off and clean that. The big positive that's happened this week, if you excuse the mess of the garden, under all this is the wood for the cladding. So hopefully next week we should be able to start the cladding on the pond. Now all the wood has arrived, so that'll be the job for next week. And the big update will be getting this bad boy finished finally. Well, not finished, but we'll be getting it clad and a new net made, so that'll certainly help things and hopefully make the pond look a lot better. I can't wait to get on started with that next week sometime, hopefully. Done a little bit of work on the bonsai trees this week, mainly just playing around, bored, but I repotted this Leylandii into a much shallower, well, it's actually a base of it's a pot base, not really a pot, but that looks a bit better putting it in there. And then that's just about holding on that one, but these that I've grown from seed have taken quite nicely, and what I've just started to do is I've wired a couple of these this week just so that they don't get too tall and they start to get the S in them that we want to grow in them. So they're all growing and doing nicely. It's one of my favourite ones, this one. Then I've got to get the guts up together. These are the ones that I bought. These are my most expensive, well, valuable. They cost me the most, and I've got to get the confidence to actually start pruning and shaping these now they've started growing, which I'm a little bit daunted by. So just got to get some confidence there and I can start pruning those up. There we go then, there was our little walk around the garden and update on a few things. Hope you found it interesting and enjoyed it. Not a lot's happened this week, but you know, things were always a little bit different week on week, and we've got a few things to keep watching and seeing what's happening. Hopefully the weather will get better this weekend and we'll be able to do the work on the pond and give it a bit of a clean and a bit of a tidy up and get some nice footage of the fish. Hope you've enjoyed watching the video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe and share if you want more videos like this. And hopefully see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.